It's the rock star one. It's like a mohawk on top of his head. So yeah, at least just their parents. They have like actual, probably extended families where like other relatives are probably coming in here and there to help these two learn different things and feed them and whatnot. This is very distinctive pigeon, so it'd be easy to, okay, this one's helping them now. Is it the same one every time, or is it actually like different ones? Yeah, definitely like display different attachment styles, and that the darker one is more independent, whereas the later one's more codependent. However, that might not necessarily be a bad quality, depending on what fate. As far as if she's one day taken care of in a situation, but being the older, the attachment style might actually be a evolutionary advantage. One way, one the other way. They don't even have to be necessarily divided by reproductive. It's just different attachment styles. So I just read that everywhere. These different psychology things, and we're drawn to favor the willful, resourceful, bold, and sort of feel like a sort of pity. Uh, I think a lot of pity is, though, it turns into, circles back into a sort of something self-righteous. Is self-righteous. It's because there's no way humans could actually uh, comprehend nature for actually what it is, instead of imposing their world of ideas upon it. As if everything has to be completely neatly ordered. Like the world isn't, or the universe isn't perfect order. It's perfect chaos. That's why things are allowed to change in the mortal realm. There's different phenotypes. And there's also all sorts of different like genetic variation that really dumb down uh, smart smart folk. Really dumb down smart folk tend to only see in black and white. And oh, I guess it's a decent time to mention the yeah. Well, looking into the fear and hunger lore, and then this sort of situation spring upon me, and all of the pigeons here are eating during the day, and there's like a big bird would come, like a hawk or something, threatening, and there was like a tenseness, but also a certain at easeness in all the other birds because they knew it wasn't going to be them. So this is they're just acting instinctually. The plan's always the same. And when the thing comes swooping in, everybody just at the same time just fly away, kind of thing. But they all know in this particular really awkward sort of way that that it won't be them. And so if their pigeons were to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that would still be, that wouldn't just be gone. It would still be kind of like a thing that over time would be cause like severe psychological trauma and ends up getting turned to all sorts of weird like rituals that just take it to the next extreme. And because we don't, yeah, we haven't actually fully dealt with the emotions of when we was in the wilds and we were all going in our way, a tribe, whatever. But like whoever's lagging behind, you just like like okay, like that's the jaguar's gonna eat them. They basically turn into the sacrificial offering when becoming cognizant. We try to make sense of these things in the form of religion and man's take on Genesis. Insistence on history rather than just the story. Yeah, and then you say, okay, so they could be this actually be the same sex. They're just engendered by different traits and attributes that are more psychological and metaphysical rather than physical, which oh, that was I was up to watching. Like, maybe up there. I guess it's back to just going absurd levels of tool making and reverse tool making and whatnot. It's like again and again and again. But it must be a messenger from God, the man that keeps testing me because he's obviously hasn't got through, but he's definitely got like narcissistic, other psychopath. I don't want to think about too much into it. I've been very cordial with the guy before this. Except the first time we met, because he is a rather large fellow, which is why I have to actually take the matter seriously. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, it must be God's messenger in a way of showing me of what I need to like buckle down on as far as not leaving myself vulnerable or uh, even just practicing a sort of religious regimen to improve the body and its capabilities. I got driven to half madness by nostalgia, for not for myself, from others, and created like this sort of so I could balance better. But it's some of it, a lot of it's like dismissing the sort of fear and doubt through the realization that the past is irrelevant. Like I could feel that to such an extent that uh, paranoia. I can feel that to such an extent that I find it actually, for a very present moment, and very near future oriented task. So I was forcing myself to break out of these nostalgic monologues. So it was helpful. It was helpful. Not not for myself, but from good friends, good friend. So, but I can't help it. Uh, our brains are like buckets, and then the more the it's poured in, layered on top of, and then having like potentially catastrophic consequences for failure. It once the bucket of water that like is your brain becomes like a thumble just from burnout of all the stress of the different bullshit that comes. It's really like when it's a good time to have it lean and really directed along the most helpful of lines, which means you can't have a bunch of outside. I would say like the cognitive ergonomatics and the task loading are two very important things for me to remember as I get bombarded with a task upon a new task upon this other task, all of which like actually really don't matter in the grand scheme of things because like really I'm just trying to focus on doing this one thing correctly to the best of my ability. And it's scary that TikTok and all that other sort of shit, what a massive, it just really emphasizes the level of distraction those things are, and the, the inherent reduction in quality of parenting. Like, so yeah, I could do that at the same time as I can do this other thing and this other thing and this other electronic thing and listen to these people and keep up with the Joneses and this and that. Really, it creates noise and interference signals. It makes the timings and stuff get thrown off.